What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another Classic WoW video for Mists of Pandaria Classic. Now today we're going to be talking about professions in the Mists of Pandaria Classic, and we're going to be talking about every single profession in today's video, and making a tier list for how good they are in the Mists of Pandaria. I guess I should also clarify that I will be angling this tier list towards their gold making potential, so we're talking about making gold with professions and how good the professions are in terms of gold making. Now, because we're talking about gold making today, I should say that I do have a gold making guide for Mists of Pandaria that you can check out through the link down below in the video description. Now, when you buy this guide right now, you also get access to my Cataclysm Goldmaking Guide at the same time, effectively giving you 2 guides for the price of 1. That way you can use the Cataclysm Guide right now in Cataclysm to make gold in the last stretch basically of Cataclysm Classic and start entering Mists of Pandaria with some gold in your pocket. And then you can use the Mists of Pandaria guide to make insane amounts of gold in Mists of Pandaria as well. At the moment, the guide is 85 pages long, containing both information for professions and a whole bunch of gold farms that you can utilize to farm gold and make gold in Mists of Pandaria. Now, in addition to that, you also get access to a Discord community where I give you guys early access to content and even exclusive content as well. Even right now, there's already 3 exclusive videos that I will not be making public that you only get access to by having this guide. So I'm trying my very best to help you guys make as much gold as possible through the guide and exclusive content. And once again, you can check out the guide through the link down below in the video description. Now, let's start making tier lists for professions in the Mists of Pandaria when it comes to making gold. So here we have a regular tier list, we're just going to be ranking professions here, and I'll be talking about the professions a little bit, but I will have individual videos coming out about those as well that goes even more in depth. Because if I'm going to talk about every profession right now in depth, it's going to be a 2-hour video, and we are trying to avoid that. Let's get into it. Now, as always, when it comes to tier lists, I just want to say that everything here will be subjective, and you can very likely make a very good argument that every single profession is S tier in some way, shape or form, as long as you know how to make it S tier. Basically, even though I'm just gonna say it right now, I'm gonna rank leatherworking in B or C tier, but if you know what you're doing and you have been using leatherworking for a while and you know how to play the auction house and how the economy works, you can easily get leatherworking to be an A tier or low S tier as well. Basically, everything is subjective, and I think that's important to note, because even if I rank it B tier, it doesn't mean it's bad, it is just not my favorite. Either way, let's get into it. So let's start this off with the easiest S tier for me personally. That's gonna be tailoring. Tailoring is a very good profession in Mists of Pandaria, just like every other expansion as well, but in Mists of Pandaria, I just feel like tailoring is being elevated even further, because they get access to a daily cooldown craft, which that's nothing new, but they get 2 daily cooldown crafts that even overlap, so you will only have access to one of them at the start, but as the expansion moves on, what usually happens is that these cooldown crafts usually becomes less viable and less profitable, but in Mists of Pandaria, you will get a second cooldown craft at a later point, allowing you to make even better BoE epic items, and on top of this, tailoring is always good for making bags, making spell threads, making crafted BoE epic items, even crafted BoE rare items, and it's a farming profession. Tailors, by having northern cloth scavenging, will be able to loot twice the amount of cloth that regular people do. So tailoring is just an all-around good profession, works for farming, crafting, has a daily cooldown, so passive gold making. It is just the best of every single aspect of gold making, in my opinion. Next up we have Inscription, another easy S tier for me, right behind Tailoring, and this is mainly / mostly due to the fact that they also get a daily cooldown craft in Mists of Pandaria, but in addition to that, we're also getting a new class, which means that everyone who plays this new class will need new glyphs that are coming to the game in Mists of Pandaria for that class as well. Also, a lot of classes are getting a overhaul in Mists of Pandaria, getting new abilities, reworked old abilities, and we also get brand new glyphs. So a lot of people will be looking to get those new glyphs, and they are gated behind a daily craft mechanic in order to unlock those recipes. So scribes will be eating very good in Mists of Pandaria. Now let's move on to some farming professions as well before we go back to crafting. So let's start this off with herbalism. Herbalism, this one right here is going to be ranked in very different places depending on when in the expansion we're talking about. So at the start of the expansion, I would put herbalism into an S tier profession just because of how easy it is to make gold. You fly around, gather herbs, and you actually make a very healthy amount of gold because everyone is skilling up their professions. Scribes will need a bunch of herbs to skill up, same thing with alchemy, will need a bunch of herbs to skill up, but the thing is, over time, herbalism does fall off, and I'm gonna say it falls all the way down to B tier, because first of all, it's farming, it's capped gold making wise, you will only make X amount of gold per hour, and the gold per hour goes down. To use a couple of fictive numbers, at the beginning you might make 20,000 gold per hour, like in the first 2 weeks. After that you make 15,000 gold per hour, and then you'll probably make 10,000 gold per hour as well, and stay there for quite a while. So herbalism does start off very good, falls off very fast, and ends up in B tier. Another reason why it ends up in B tier is that you don't even need to have herbalism to get herbs in Pandaria. You can exchange Spirits of Harmony, for example, when you get those, to get herbs as well. So for example, where I am right now, if I just hide the tier list for a quick second, when you just do regular content, you will every now and then loot something called a Mote of Harmony, which you can turn into a Spirit of Harmony, and you can exchange that Spirit of Harmony for a box of Pandarian herbs, giving you 1 stack of Panda herbs. You can also get 2 Golden Lotus for once again 1 Spirit of Harmony. In addition to that, you also have the Sunsong Ranch at the Half Hill in Valley of the Four Winds, where basically everyone can grow herbs on that farm and give them once again Pandarian herbs that way as well. So I feel like you don't really need herbalism to be self-sufficient on herbs in Mists of Pandaria, and that could be a bad thing for the herbalism profession. Now, mining is the exact same thing. Like at the start, everyone is going to need a bunch of ores because people are skilling up blacksmithing, engineering, jewel crafting. People need a bunch of ores at the start, and you can make 20,000 gold per hour the first couple of weeks, and then down to 15,000, and then down to 10,000 as well. And the same thing goes here. You can use Spirit of Harmony to buy different types of ores as well from the same vendor, and you can even use a Sunsong Ranch to plant seeds that turns into Ghost Iron ore, and even White Trillium and Black Trillium. Next up then, we also have skinning, and for skinning, I'm gonna do something that is a little bit controversial compared to what I just said about farming, and I'm gonna put skinning into A tier, and that is because at the start, people will need a bunch of skins for leatherworking, for example, and the thing is, it will obviously fall down in price over time, but also your efficiency when it comes to farming scales over time. When it comes to herbalism plus mining, your efficiency... What did I just say? Your efficiency doesn't really scale. You will always fly at the same speed, and unless you get a very rare item in Pandaria, you will also gather at the same speed. So when the items fall down in value, you are still farming at the same rate, and your farming, well, gold per hour goes down. For skinning, even though the materials might go down in price, you will get better geared, and as you get better geared, you can do bigger pulls and more DPS and kill mobs faster, allowing you to offset that balance by farming more mobs faster and farming more efficiently. So for me, skinning is just A tier because of that, but also you are actively killing mobs, giving you Mote of Harmony, which you can turn into Spirit of Harmony, which you can then use to purchase Golden Lotus, for example, at the vendor I just showed you guys. So for me, skinning is a little bit over herbalism and mining, like in the long term here, but once again, I did just say, and I want to reiterate, herbalism is S tier at the start and falls off over time. So at the start, herbalism plus mining will be miles above skinning, but skinning will catch up and stay a little bit above, at least I think so. Next up then, we have jewel crafting, pretty much a hidden gem when it comes to gold making, and I kind of want to put it all the way up to S tier, but I simply cannot do it. But jewel crafting is very good. First of all, you have access to daily quests, which you can turn into like give you some passive gold, and also you have different types of cuts you can make. You can make prismatic gems, or I guess they're called meta gems, right? You can cut rare gems, uncommon gems. You can even get lucky on the uncommon gems to get pristine gems, which will then sell for even more gold. In addition to that, for jewel crafting, a very good way to make gold in every single expansion is literally buying ore, prospecting, and that's it. You buy ore, prospect, profit. It worked in Wrath, it worked in TBC, and it also worked in Cataclysm, and it will very likely work in Mists of Pandaria as well. Jewel crafting is very good, it is just overall not that exciting. And speaking of professions that are very good but not that exciting, we also have alchemy, and for alchemy I'm gonna do this all the way up to S tier. The reason for that is that we have a daily cooldown craft through living steel in Mists of Pandaria for alchemist. You can also make potion of luck for gold farmers. You can make potions like intellect potions, strength potions, agility potions for raiding content. You can also make flasks, elixirs, and you can also do like regular transmutes, making trillium bars from ghost iron ore. So you have so many things you can do as an alchemist, and also you have those quests where you can become a transmute master, potion master, or elixir master, and those masteries adds another barrier to entry and adds another like wall to making profit in alchemy. Next up then we have Enchanting, and Enchanting is quite good to have. It depends on like what type of content you do, so like Enchanting can be done different ways, but the way I like to have Enchanting is on one of my characters that I'm actively doing content on. That way whenever a new phase comes out, you can disenchant your old gear as you get new gear upgrades. So when we go from, for example, Terrace of Endless Springs into Isle of Thunder, you will be probably updating all of your gear into Throne of Thunder, into Throne of Thunder gear, in which case you can disenchant your old gear and get a couple thousand gold back. Now, if you're actively doing content, you will probably spend those gold on enchants anyway, but in that case you can get cheaper enchants by doing it yourself, plus, well, Enchanting has a couple of cool opportunities to hunt down certain recipes really early. For example, there's a couple of good recipes locked behind the Shadow Pan reputation in Mists of Pandaria, so enchanters kind of has this incentive to farm out reputation and do everything they can to grind reputation fast, because being that one person with all recipes unlocked when the raids are open is gonna be massive. So Enchanting to me is pretty good, but doesn't really go all the way up into A tier. It's gonna be like a B tier, but I kinda wanna rank it above the farming professions, so something like this in my opinion. Once again, herbalism plus mining is gonna be way better at the start if you ask me, but Enchanting is very good long term, plus you can use it to make gold on old enchants as well. Plus heirlooms, like enchants are gonna start scaling in Mists of Pandaria, so you can do way more enchants now, and way cooler enchants, and make a bunch of gold. So Enchanting is going to be interesting, but just not insane. Either way, moving on then, we have a couple of crafting professions that I'm going to put right down here into C tier at the same time. Why did I just drag cooking? Blacksmithing, there we go. So tailoring plus blacksmithing, I put them both in the same place because all they really have is gear crafting, and sure, you can start targeting reputations to unlock recipes really early, plus you can make BOE epic items, that's kinda cool, but to me, these two are never really that good for gold making. But then again, I'm just gonna say, anyone that are using these professions, you will be able to make gold. Probably more than I will. They are just not my favorites. And then in the D tier, there's only really two professions that I want to put even further down here. That's going to be engineering and fishing. So engineering, I'm just going to say, at some point in Mists of Pandaria, you will get access to a daily cooldown craft called Jar's Peculiar Energy Source, which you can use to make Sky Golem. And when that comes out, engineering will go all the way up to A tier for me personally, but until then, it's really bad. I have never been able to make gold with engineering in Mists of Pandaria, and I don't think anything's gonna change this time around either, until once again we get access to that daily cooldown craft, and we can make the Sky Golem, in which case engineering is great, but until then it's pretty lackluster. And for fishing, well, it usually struggles for gold per hour, compared to herbalism, mining, skinning, even tailoring, like cloth farming. It's not the best farming profession to have. You also have the fact that in Mists of Pandaria we are likely going to see more active fishermen than ever before, due to the anglers' reputation in Quastranger Wilds requiring fishing to do all of their dailies. Like, you can do a couple of them without fishing, that's fine, but there's pretty much always one quest that has fishing with it, and even with the Order of the Cloud Serpent in Jade Forest, you need to have fishing for one of those quests as well. So I feel like there's going to be way more people actually doing fishing anyway for their daily quests, and when there's more people doing fishing in their regular gameplay, the value of fishing usually just tends to go down. But also, you can say that in Mists of Pandaria we're getting a couple of battle pets that you can only get from fishing. So if you're hunting down those battle pets, fishing can be great. To me it's just like, fishing is boring. It is really boring, so for me I'm going to put it to D tier, but once again let me know what you think in the comments. I guess there's one more that I can put up here, and that's going to be cooking. So cooking is C tier, locked behind daily quests, you kind of have to spam dailies for a while, but once you do, well, cooking can be fine, and you can definitely make some gold. So I think for now this is my tier list for professions in Mists of Pandaria. Let me know once again how wrong I am in the comments, and let me know what your tier list looks like as well in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below as well, and thank you for watching as always. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you again in the next video very soon.